Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your November forecast. Last month we had a little bit of an audio flop, so sorry, but this month it should all be good. Now, what I really love about November here for you, Capricorn, you can look over here at your chart. The sun is moving through the 11th house, which is your social portion of your chart, okay? So groups and friendships, getting back around, maybe being able to get out of the house a little bit more for you might be, or finding other ways of being social, which is getting you out of that lockdown. So perhaps in your area, things might be looking up a little bit more, but it's also the area of hopes and dreams. And this is what I want you to focus on, right? What is it you desire? What are you hoping for? What are you yearning for with those visions? This is a month where you can actually put a lot of that into focus. Some of you will be on social media a whole lot more because it also rules the internet, right? This area, it's the 11th house of Aquarius. Now, to enhance that, upon being just very passionate about what you're doing, that's that Scorpio energy, the sun moving through Scorpio, but the 11th house being, like I said, very public, outgoing, you have the new moon. So let's talk a little bit about that, because the new moon is not just the power of manifestation. You know how we put out our intentions and so forth, right? But if we place our intentions everywhere else but where it's showing up, it might take longer for the universe to bring that in to your manifestation. But when we focus our intention on exactly where, like right here, then you will see how it will come into reality that much faster. So what should your intentions be? And it's coming up on down here. You'll see November 15th showing up 23 degrees, right? So put that on your calendar to take a little time off to kind of look at what it is you desire. So for you, it should be that you want to either draw a new crowd, a new tribe, or to have more time to be out and about with your friends, that kind of thing. And no, it doesn't just hold the power for this coming month until the next new moon. No. The seeds that you plant now is holding the power of carrying it forward all the way around your chart till it comes back into this area 12 months from now. This is why it's so important to know where the new moon is, so that you can have that little seed grow into a huge tree straight throughout all these next 12 months, right? So if you're wanting to gain more visibility, maybe on your Instagram, wherever it is that you're going to want to go, this would be where you want to focus your intentions right now. And also maybe putting out there that you're ready to meet new people of more like mindset that get you, understand you without you having to explain yourself, right? So, and we have those phases in life where we do have a little bit of, you can say, a flow of new people coming in, and that is to inspire you, right? So that's the new moon, November 15th. And while we're talking about the moons, let's talk about the full moon here at November 30th, 8 degrees in Gemini, which for you is going to show up in the area of both your health and your day-to-day routines, your schedules and so forth, and your health. So what does that mean? On November 30th, you might fulfill maybe a goal that you set for yourself, to have trained in a certain way, or maybe you've been on a keto diet and starting to really see the results of it, or going to the gym, working out. All of those things now on the 30th should really give you something that you will feel very both happy and grateful for. Of course, the 6th house is the house of Virgo, so research, all right? Looking into things that can behoove you over time is what is good. And I say research because that full moon is in the sign of Gemini. And Gemini talks and studies. They're like living encyclopedias. So maybe you will become like that for the time of the full moon, where you're really looking into what it is that you really need to know. It's harboring and getting in new information. Okay, so it's great for that. or just making a decision that you want to start on, say, a health plan of sorts. Then we have Mercury Retrograde, which started up there in October. So, if you're listening to this on the October end of this reading for November, you will see that it is up here in your 10th house for a career, okay? And when Mercury goes retrograde, we know it's a time of misunderstanding and all those things that can be a little bit difficult to deal with. So we want to make sure that when we speak, that whoever's listening is getting the point that you're trying to get across, right? And vice versa. So especially in the area of your career, if you're having any talks with your supervisor, your boss, or wanting to move ahead, attaining your goals, because the 10th house is also the goals that you hold for yourself, not necessarily just career, but for the goals that you have, you might be adjusting yourself a little bit, and that's a good thing. This is why we like the retrogrades. That's the upside of it, is that it gives us those 3.5 weeks to go and refine, retweak whatever it is that we're working on and setting up, right? But the downside is, yes, delays and all those things that can be a little, but we survive it. As long as you don't start anything new, especially with career, right now. If you're putting out applications, I would wait. Why? Because those things can turn around down the road and then it will just fizzle out to nothing. It's okay to look at jobs, do the research, all that, but don't start anything new. Now, if it's something from the past, something you applied for prior to Mercury going retrograde, that's a different thing. That belongs in the past. You can work that now. All that is good. It's just the new things, right? And we really don't want to buy anything with moving parts, new computers, cars, that kind of thing, because that can also be a little faulty once we get it, and then it's got to go back into returns. But you do have Venus here in this area, 10th house of career, and it's beautiful because Venus rules Libra. It's in the sign of Libra. So this month for you, it's all about balance and joy and happiness and love, finding those things that work for you, eradicate what doesn't. It's the scales. So you will feel that romantic energy also coming up, in spite of this being, should I say, in your 10th house for career. Think about it also as goals. So if you really feel that you have a goal that you are desiring, really wanting to put your heart into and all that, this is a time where you can really get quality, really good quality from the job and the work that you're doing. And I could see how the higher ups are also really happy with the work that you are giving this month too, because it's coming from the heart, right? And that desire will always show up. So we're loving that. But over to Mars. Well, Mars has been retrograde. We've talked about that, and it is still retrograde down here in your 4th house of foundation. And it being in the sign of Aries, it's kind of strong here. And why is that? Well, because Mars rules Aries, or Aries rules Mars, right? So it's got that double whammy effect, and you're going to be looking at the foundation of your life. The security that you have there, and what it is you're wanting to build in this foundation, whether it is your physical home, or what is happening on the family front. There might be a little to do here with this too, especially in things that has to do with the past. Say, unresolved issues might have been coming up at this time, giving extended time just so that you can work it through, because Mars normally takes 6 weeks right here through any of these signs, and here it's 6 months. So that time is not in vain. Nothing happens without a purpose. You are supposed to, Capricorn, supposed to focus on your family members, where you live, how you live, right? And make sure that all is secure. Now, the good news is, after several months of retrograde, now on November 14th, Mars is going to go direct again, pick up some energy, move forward, and you'll start feeling how that is wonderful. You might have felt, a little sluggish, a little slow, a little tired, when Mars isn't burning its energy. It's like an engine. It wants to move, right? And so when it's not really functioning and it's on like half speed, you might have just felt these last couple of months where like you just like to lay on the bench, watch Netflix, do something that doesn't really take all that focused energy from you, because retrogrades is also restoring one's energy, right? Refilling. So whatever you do and however you do it is up to you. But that is why maybe physically you've been feeling a little bit more lethargic, but your engines are going to be up and running from mid-month. And give it a week, give it maybe 10 days or so, because it takes a little time for the planet to start moving forward after a retrograde. Then over to more fun stuff, and I have to say fun now. It's probably been a drag all of 2020. Why? The slowdown, everything, the lockdown, and the virus, and it's been hindering us to have that free motion. Over here, look at your first house, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, right? Now, all of these have been retrograde, that all of these have been in your first house here for 2020. And so when it started out, Saturn likes to kind of block. Think about the planet having rings, right? It holds us in. And Pluto may stifle us, but Pluto's whole mission is to transform you from where you've been, who you've been, to becoming who you will be and are. And it's a slow process. Pluto has been moving through your chart for many years already. It's at 22 degrees. It's got 8 more degrees to go before it's going to be focusing on your finances. And that Pluto will be transforming your financial income, but not for a few years yet. But having Jupiter there, now Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. So think about it. It's mahalo. It's huge, right? And so when we had the pandemic, we had a huge international pandemic. Jupiter rules everything international, foreign people, places, and travel, and so forth. And Pluto, the virus, yes, some people did pass, unfortunately, but what it's doing, it's reforming us as a whole, as the whole people, no matter where we are. For you, it's in the first house. So this time that you've had, Capricorn, on your own, and working through the virus, working through the lockdown and all this, when you haven't been able to take the energy outwards to the world, it's kind of like affected you inwardly. So you've been on an inward journey. And for good reasons that you'll only come to see in the aftermath, in 2021, 2022. When you look back, you'll say, that's when I changed. That's when my outlook on life changed dramatically, because there's first a rip down of old structures, Pluto falling, Saturn helping it to do it, right? And then comes the rebuild. So you will be so transformed into a whole new being when these planets start moving forward. And of course, both Jupiter and Saturn will be moving into your second house for income, and we're going to talk about that as we go along in these next couple of months. So do subscribe, so you can get these insights and how you're definitely going to be expanding and how you will be expanding your income in not just the upcoming months, but in the upcoming years. We're going to talk so much more about that down the road. But yeah, so this is where now they're all moving forward. They're not retrograde. They were retrograde late spring, throughout summer and whatnot. And so that was more of the hold down and hold back of where you were. But now, no, you'll start feeling there's a lift, a rise, your energy will surface again, and you'll be out and about, especially because we're talking about your 11th house too, right? This month is really calling for some more action there. Love, love, love that. Then we do have Uranus retrograde, has been retrograde for several months. Retrograde is all about our unique self, finding our unique expression, right? Mercury is communication on a very linear level, whereas Uranus symbolizes full downloads of inspirational thoughts and so forth, and clarity. thinking outside of the box in that creative way. And fifth house is also love and romance, new romance, right? And so Uranus, since it is a wild card, you never know what you get, right? It could be fascinating, great, oh my gods, and it could be oopsie, oh my gods too. And but Uranus is now going to be going direct at the end of the month, November 29th, down here. You'll see how that is going to start moving things forward in the area of your own creativity, self-expression, the interaction that you're having with children or younger people, and romantic interaction. So yeah, that will kind of bring you back up to speed and have something to look forward to. So as you can see, November is so wonderful because we're all getting on track again with energy. You know, it's been a sluggish summer and autumn. And of course, the weather worldwide, globally, has also been showing us that, right? Little rain, some places, floods other places, fire other places. I mean, it's been a little erratic, but we should start seeing things leveling out just a little bit more. So Neptune, I'm going to focus a little bit on that before I let you go. Neptune, of course, is our hopes and dreams and visions, our spirituality, our escapism, where we escape to when we need some of that. For you, it's always nice to get out and about, like a short trip, just day trip or something. So those small little journeys, it's not like in the 9th house where we have long distance travel. 3rd house is more closer to home, away for the weekend, a short week or something. Not necessarily as vacations, but just to get out and about and renew ourselves, right? For you, it's like a meditation. It's very spiritual. You reset yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally when you're able to get a little bit out and about, or here, Capricorn, to find a body of water. Whether it's by the ocean, a lake, a river, a stream, anything with water coming in, it kind of soothes your spirit, right? And it kind of really opens you up spiritually and psychically, none the least as well. So, this is what we have for this month. If you want more insights, though, listen to your moon and your rising sign chart, because the planets will be in the same place, right, in the same signs, but they will shift to other houses, other expressions in your chart. If you look around